I'm Brian Reese, Senior Social Media Editor here at Newsweek and the Daily Beast, here with Cole Stryker, author of Hacking the Future, Privacy, Identity, and Anonymity on the Web. Cole, tell us about your book.
Well, it deals with this war I see going on between entrenched powers like government interests, corporate interests, and insurgent groups like WikiLeaks and Anonymous, and disparate network of hackers that are trying to speak their minds anonymously and to hack and to leak information that they think needs to be free. So it's really a manifesto for why anonymity is important and why anonymity on the web specifically is something that we need to be fighting for actively.
And why now? Why did you write this now? What compelled you to do it now in this ongoing narrative of Anonymous and LulzSec and everyone out there operating in this world of an internet being increasingly dominated by Facebook, which preaches real identity?
So the internet's becoming less and less anonymous every day. Corporate interests especially have an economic interest in building a portrait around its individual users. For instance, if Facebook can tell an advertiser that Cole Stryker is really into video games, and not just really into video games, but a specific one, and that my age, my likes and dislikes, the fact that I might have 3 electronic devices in my bedroom, that's information that is very valuable to an advertiser. However, I feel that that sort of intrusive detail into my life could be used for evil, just as it can be used for good.
And so what do you say to people who are getting more and more involved on the internet? Maybe they weren't 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Should they go for total anonymity? Should they use their real name? Should they kind of tread a middle ground? I'm
a big fan of pseudonymity.
Yeah.
And this is also something that certain groups have been trying to fight for, specifically Google and Facebook. Their users want to use pseudonyms because they want to talk about things that they wouldn't be comfortable talking about under their real name, whether it's something that could get them fired, something that could get their kids taken away, or could get them thrown in jail. So I think that pseudonymity is probably the answer for the average person who just simply wants to behave in such a way online that they won't experience real-world consequences for.
Right. So in your book, how do you make that case? You could sum it up in maybe 3 bullets.
Sure. So the point that I make is that anonymity is not something that's inherently wrong. Secrecy and privacy are often conflated, and the idea that you don't need to have your personal details held privately just because you have something to hide, I don't feel that that's true. There are plenty of reasons why I don't want to broadcast the details of my personal life to everyone that I know. And so on the flip side of that, I'm trying to fight against any sort of regulation or legislation that would make for an internet where I don't have control over what's available to the public. Yeah, so I think that A, it's not good for freedom of speech, and B, I think it's generally impossible to lock down the internet in such a way, but that hasn't stopped certain interest groups from trying to pull that off.
So right on. Thanks for explaining that. Cole's book, Hacking the Future, comes out Thursday, September 13th, bookstores near you.